Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. There was a warning from the International Monetary Fund this month that taxpayers may need to bail out broke Australian state governments. And of course, you always pay for government. So they're talking about the federal government needing to bail out the state governments that are accumulating massive debts. We'll look at the numbers and then look at why they're accumulating massive debts. So the International Monetary Fund has issued an unprecedented warning that the federal government may need to bail out heavily indebted states and territories, such as Victoria and the Northern Territory. Victoria is on track to accumulate over $200 billion of debt. And if we look at from S&P Global Ratings, they recently warned that state governments were spending like it was the pandemic. And of course, once you get government spending, it's impossible to get rid of it. Doesn't matter how much more you tax, they'll just keep spending, 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 doing it inefficiently, wasting money, running up debt. Total state government debt is 660 billion, or 24% of GDP in 2026. And if we look at this, the agency predicted that state government debt in Australia would roughly triple from 2019 to 2027. So, in the space of 8 years, Australian state governments to triple their debt. Triple. And if we have a look at the official government numbers from the Parliamentary Budget Office, pbo.gov.au, they always quote lower numbers because it's the government. They want to, underreport bad things and, overreport good things. That they even admit state government debt, 593 billion to rise to 722 billion. And then state governments per year are already spending $20 billion to pay interest on their debt. Keep in mind the federal government has $1 trillion of debt on top of that, which it pays interest on. Total interest expense from government almost 50 billion. And what's the solution? Well, options include an increase to the goods and services tax. So all those quote free doctor visits, those free schools you're getting, you pay for them with inflation, you pay for them with all the taxes you pay, and now you may pay more GST if the government listens to the IMF. So why are Australian state governments going bankrupt? Well, let's put emotions aside and just look at the data. Percentage of the workforce in health employment. This goes to 2024. I'll update that in a sec. New Zealand 10%, 13% for Canada, the United States. 15% of the Australian workforce is in health employment. Why do we need a higher percentage of people employed in health than some of these other countries? Are we sicker? Are we older than these countries? And of course, we update those numbers. We look at and the AI help me here. It continues to rise. 16.2% of the Australian workforce is now in quote healthcare. So that trend is continuing. The private sector is dying. Everyone's just working for the government. And now, if we look at the numbers, I know this isn't something people want to hear, but 30 to 35% of state government spending is on healthcare. So the healthcare spending is bankrupting the state government's mathematical problem, and government spending and debt accumulation causes inflation. You pay the tax, you pay the inflation.